So you just got your taunt tank, and now you're wondering, how do I build him? What equips do I use? Or what crest do I use? This is a question that's asked a lot because, you know, crest is something that we farm the most in Grand Summoners. So we wonder what crest do we need? How do we use it? As for taunt tanks, there is one crest in this game that beats all other crests. Only for taunt tanks, not taunt or not mitigation tanks. So for example, Shiro is a mitigation tank and Toma is a taunt tank. The difference between a taunt tank and a mitigation tank is one taunt, meaning all the damage that your team gets will be just converted only to the taunt tank. So nobody else will get the damage, nobody will get the debuffs, or as it's called in Grand Summers, the status elements, or any of that sort. Only the taunt tank will get them. Well, as it goes for tank mitigations, that is just a tank that makes your entire team like stronger, more defense, big shields, but the boss is still hitting everyone. Unlike taunt tanks, where the boss is hitting everyone, but only the taunt tank is getting the damage. Anyway, now that that's gone, what crest is best for a taunt tank? Let me explain to you. Now, the best thing a taunt tank can have is damage reduction. Should be, common sense. The less damage the taunt tank gets, the more chance of him surviving. So, is there a crest that gives a damage reduction? There definitely is. And it is only available on Thursdays. So if we go, okay, it's not Thursday right now, so I can't show you. But if we go to missions and we go to the Crest Palace, then we see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It is currently Wednesday, but it'll be Thursday tomorrow. And then this one, it says Eternity. In there, you can get a crest that is called Truth of Eternity. What does Truth of Eternity do? I will show you right now. We go all the way down and we look for Truth of Eternity, as you can see right here. Truth of Eternity at level 4. So this is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And we of course have level 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus, etc. At level 4 plus, at level 4, you will get max HP 250 up. So you get 250 max HP. That's nice. A little bit more health will help maybe with surviving. But then it says damage taken 20% down when near death. Now, this isn't explained very well, but basically what it means is that when you are near death, which is, if I'm not wrong, under 50 or 40% HP, so when the bar turns red, when the health bar turns red, you are near death. Near death, I thought it was like literally like 5%, but it's like 40 or 50%. So, when you are near death, you will get 20% less damage overall, just 20% less damage. This is by far the best crest for all taunt tanks. Every single taunt tank in the game. Because if the boss or the enemies or whatever do break through your barrier and the taunt tank gets low, at least they will have a small damage reduction that will keep them survive a bit longer, which is 20%. Now, however, there is something else to it. Because in case you didn't know, one of the best equips in the game are Grand Crusade equips. And if we go to equips and we go to fusion and we craft whatever, let's say we just craft a defense equip. As you can see here, it has a very high chance of making a defense equip. I will go to crest fragments. I will go all the way down and I will look for Truth of Eternity. Then I will press on, I don't have enough, but you get the point. I will press on Truth of Eternity, level 4, don't do level 3, and then press select. Then I will press begin and I can make an equip. That equip can land the Truth of Eternity crest. For example, I have one. So let's look. These boots. It gives target magic damage taken down. So just when you use this equip, the user or the target will get 45% magic damage taken down for 12 seconds. But passively has the Truth of Eternity crest on. This means that if you have a crest on a unit, so let's for example go to Miranda. Miranda has Truth of Eternity, so when she's low, she gets 20% damage down. And for example, let's put the boots on her. So then if we put the boots on her and we have the Truth of Eternity crest, Now we will officially get 40% damage reduction whenever she gets low. So this is 40% damage reduction, which is great. That's really great. That's awesome. It's awesome. 40% damage reduction when she gets low. 40% is a lot. You get 40% less damage from any enemies. Plus, if you actually use the equip, you will also get another 45% magic damage taken down for 12 seconds. Because this is passively. This is like whenever you're low. So, this is 40% damage taken down. However, of course, there is a difference between Miranda and Gerald, or as I like to call him, the GOAT, Era, and Thoma. Because Miranda, whenever she gets low and she dies, she will just die. But for Gerald, Gamagori, and Thoma, they have a certain passive. I call it the zombie passive, which is basically, if you read it here, survives with 1 HP and HP auto recovery and art gauge max when activated. Ignore the second part, but look at the first part. Survives with 1 HP. Now let's go to Gamagori. Survives with 1 HP and auto recovers to 100% of max HP. There you go, again. And then let's go to Thoma. Survives with 1 HP and will not fall for 5 seconds after that. Okay, it should be saying that on all, but you know, the other units are a bit old, so it doesn't say that. But basically, on Thoma, Era, and Gerald, whenever they die, they don't fall for 5 seconds. For 5 seconds straight, they will not die. Meaning they can take as much damage. Like, they can take 1 billion damage. But if that 5 seconds are still not over, they will not die. So if you do hit that threshold of you dying, these 3 units will say, nah, we'll just survive 5 seconds longer. And this is a huge thing. An absolute huge thing. Because this means that if the Truth of Eternities didn't work, at least you have a second chance. Surely most of the time by then, if they hit their passes, they're probably gonna die afterwards, but you never know. That might have saved your life, and then, you know, the taunting is still alive, and then the Truth of Eternities are activated, and you can, for example, get your taunt tanks up again, and, you know, you can survive. So, this is the best crest on taunt tanks, Truth of Eternity, because when they get low, they will survive longer. And it's even better on units that have the zombie passive. Because if they do die, and then you manage to arts again, or whatever it is for their shield, then at least they survived for those 5 seconds, and they have their shield up again. So they have another chance, they have a second chance, and the Truth of Eternity is activated. Meaning, even if they're at 1 HP, and they have like a new shield, they'll still take less damage, and that shield will go down very slowly because of the Truth of Eternity being activated. But now, the question is, what about Truth of Eternity? That crest very clearly, let's go back to Miranda, it very clearly says, damage taken 20% down when near death. Which means you are not always benefiting from it. Because if you just started a stage, and you use your taunt tank, and they're just taunting, that means that the Truth of Eternity is not currently being activated. It's just there. It's just the only thing it's giving is 250% max HP up, which is still nice, but it's not activated. It's not, you're not using the whole potential of the crest. But what if you can? That is what this video is about. This video, I'm going to show you that you can actually make use of Truth of Eternity for every single taunt tank in the entire game. Because the unit that benefits from Truth of Eternity the most ever in this entire game is Gamagori. Why? Because if you look here, costs 2% of max HP for 30 seconds. This guy gets a very big shield while also slowly lowering his own HP without the enemy having to deal damage to him, without having to risk getting too low, or without having to risk getting your allies too low. He's doing it himself. Meaning, when you use your True Arch, he is slowly lowering his HP, and he's just getting that Truth of Eternity by himself. And that makes him the best user or the best unit for Truth of Eternity. In my personal opinion, Truth of Eternity is only really good on Gamagori. But because there are no better crests, it is also good on every single taunt tank, because there just aren't any better crests. If there was a crest and that crest said like 10% damage down at all times, even if it's not 20, just 10, it would have been better on Toma. Because Toma wants to stay healthy. He wants to stay high HP. So the same goes for Gerald. The same goes for Miranda. They don't want to be at low HP. They want to be at high HP. Gamagori doesn't. He wants to be at low HP. He gets more damage or whatever. The less HP, the more damage. There you go, that's what I mean. So, the low he is, the more damage he gets. And look, equipcity speed up when near death. Boom, he gets more equipcity. Damage taken 25% down. Look, that's a Truth of Eternity in his passive right there. Which is insane. I think Toma has that too, actually. Oh no, he has skill CT. Okay, well, you get the point. You get the point. So look, even Toma is benefiting from being near death. But he doesn't activate. He can't activate it himself. So, like I just said, there is a way to do that. And you gotta do it fast. Because right now, the mines are here. And I'm sure you've heard it before. In the mines, there are some crazy equips. And if you look at this boss right here, she gives an equip. Why did I go back? So, this equip is the best equips for any taunt tank and any unit that needs to be low. So if we take a look at this equip, cost 99% of target's HP and increases target arcades by 120. That increases target arcades by 120 is amazing, but I don't even want to talk about that. I just want to talk about the first part. Like, of course, the second part is great, but the first part is what we're talking about. So let's just use an example. Let's go into practice. And I'm going to show you with what I mean. Unfortunately, I don't think there is a taunt tank that has a 5-star support slot. So, unfortunately, you know, you're going to obviously have to use someone with a 5-star support slot. So, for example, I'm going to use SG Lisa. Oh my god, SG Lisa is a perfect example because she can do it twice. As you can see, I have been farming it because it is great. It is a great equip. I farmed it. I got it once, and then I wanted to, like, you know what, I want 2. And then I got it like 3 times in a row. So, you know, that's great. Anyway, so I currently have the tier on my SG Lisa. So what you want to do is, oh my god, Toma is the best example. Because Toma, what you can do is you can press his skill, immediately arts. So now he has his shield up. He's not going to die. So what can you do? Boom. That's it. His Truth of Eternity is in passive. His skill CT is in passive. Everything that is near death is currently active. It's currently active. Because he's low. And he's not dying. Because, for example, if I were to give it to Gamagori right now, and the boss is here, he would die. He would die. He's dead. Because you gave him the art. You gave him the tier. He has, like, 1 HP. The boss only needs to hit him once, and boom, he's dead. That's it. So, you need to ensure to give someone, or to give a taunt tank the tier after they are taunting. Don't forget that. That's quite important. So, for example, let's try it again. Toma is just, oh my god, Toma is the best taunt tank in the game. You use his skill, arts. There you go. He's taunting, you can do this. He will be low for the rest of the match. Well, not for the rest of the match, depending on if you have healers and etc, etc. But that's it. His near deaths are not actively, you know, they're active. They're active. So, for example, the same goes for Gamagori. Once he has, I don't have his true weapon equipped, but he gets 100 arcades from his true weapon. So, there you go. Let's imagine he is like currently in his true arts. There you go. He's in his true arts. You give him the tier. Boom. There you go. That's it. But the thing is, Gamagori, you don't need to do that. Because he makes himself low. And that is what's fantastic about that guy. I genuinely, Gamagori makes Truth of Eternity feel useful. Because people are like, yeah, Truth of Eternity is the best crest on any taunt tank. Which is 100% true. Because there are no better better crests. But they're not always benefiting from it. But they can with this equip. Make sure they taunt. Give the equip to them. And you will be taking so much less damage. So, now that I explained this, keep in mind that you can't always use tier because you got to be careful. Maybe you got to have a different equip. But if you seriously want to make use of the Truth of Eternity crest, use the tier, farm the equip, get 2 or 3. I got lucky, I got 4. Like I'm pretty sure you don't need 4, but you know, it's better than 1. So on top of that, when I just explained about this equip having Truth of Eternity and Miranda having Truth of Eternity, in case you're wondering, it does stack. Right? It 100% stacks. You don't need to specialize an equip for it to stack. If you specialize it, the only thing you're benefiting from is stats. Because look, the bad thing about this is you're not getting any defense. It's a defense equip and you're not getting defense. You're missing out on some big stats, which I have to be honest, a lot of people do not realize. But you are missing on huge, like a huge difference. Like if this was, for example, attack, if this was an attack equip, and you have someone with attack ratio, they're missing out on 500 attack, which is, mind you, that's a lot. 500 defense, 500 attack, it's a lot. So you're missing out on big damage reduction, but you're also getting it back if you have the right crest. So, you know. But this only applies for taunt tanks because you do not ever want to specialize in equip like this. Because almost every taunt tank can use it. Almost every taunt tank can use it. No, or every taunt tank can use... No, no, because not every taunt tank has a defense slot. I'm pretty sure there's one that doesn't have a defense slot. Anyway, so you always want this equip to be available. Because remember, if you specialize in equip, a fusion equip, nobody else can equip it anymore except the unit that you specialized it with. So never, ever specialize an equip like this. Because all your taunt tanks you want to use something like this. I actually wanted a physical one, but hopefully I'll get one in the future. What you can do is, for example, on Thoma, he has a 4-star support slot. You can make a 4-star equip, a support equip with Truth of Eternity and specialize it to him. That's fine because his true weapon has like a Truth of Eternity in this passive, so you don't need a physical fusion equip. Defense equip, what I just talked about, but like almost everyone needs a defense equip. And then the 4-star equip, that you can specialize because then you're getting 400 defense plus you're getting Truth of Eternity passive, and you know, you have an own fusion equip. So that's great. I unfortunately do not have him LB6, but once I do, if I ever get it, I will make a 4-star equip for him. That's Truth of Eternity. Because then, for example, in Thomas' case, let's say you have his true weapon. Boom, that's 20. Is it 20? I'm pretty sure his true weapon gets 20. 30. Oh, at all times. Oh, okay, I completely forgot. So yeah, so let's say you have his true weapon. There you go. That's 30% damage reduction. 30%. Let's say you put this equip on Thoma. There you go. That is another 20% when near death. So that's 50 when near death. Then let's say you have a fusion equip that you have specialized to Thoma. There you go. That is 70% near death. Then let's say you have the Truth of Eternity crest. That would be, if it's a 4, that would be 90% damage reduction near death. And just damage, not physical, not magical, not earth, not fire. No, just damage, all damage reduction. 90% damage reduction near death. And he does not have a passive. And then, if you use his arts, reduces magic damage taken by 35%. So he will then have 125 damage reduction when near death. Magic damage reduction when near death. 90% damage reduction and 125 magic damage reduction. That's insane. 100% damage reduction. That is... He's going to take almost no damage. Because there are bosses that do decreased damage resist or whatever it's called. And then, yeah, of course, he'll be taking more damage. But without that, he will be taking almost no damage. If the boss is magical. So, do you understand where I'm getting at? So, but you're not going to benefit from those if you do not... If you're not low. So, you gotta have someone in your team with a 5-star support slot that can make it happen that the taunt tank is first taunting and then getting low by the tier equip. That's basically what I wanted to explain in this video. I've been using taunt tank myself, and I've been thinking like a lot about like who actually is the best taunt tank. And just to also put it in this video, if we look at all taunt tanks in the game, in my personal opinion, Thoma is the best taunt tank in the game. I am not saying he is the strongest taunt tank in the game, because he's not. But he is the best. Thoma, I mean, most of the time, you do not need a insane taunt tank that just does not die, which would be Kirisame. But because most of the time you just don't need that. Most of the time you just need a taunt tank to ensure that no, like, your team just stays alive and doesn't get debuffed for more damage and more etc or whatever, yeah? And Toma does that. And on top of that, he makes the stages, the matches, incredibly quick. Because of this stupid, disgusting super art that increases the damage to enemy by 100%. Basically decreasing their damage resist. 100%! This dude is so broken. This guy is incredibly broken. On top of that, he gives everyone 20 arts whenever he uses his own arts. Which is like insane because you're always going to use his arts. And then if the boss is fire, light or dark, you're getting another 200% damage up. Like, come on guys, this guy, you cannot tell me that there is any taunt tank better than him, because there isn't. There just isn't. If you need a seriously strong taunt tank that just will not die, Kirisame is the guy to go, because like he cleanses damage resist down and like that's insane. So if you need something like that, Kirisame is your guy. He will ensure that your team does not die. But keep in mind, he does need a lot of arch gen. So, you know, Toma doesn't. You just use his skill for the first time, boom, he's immediately arching. He's immediately taunting. And that's insane. That's genuinely insane. But Gamagori, however, in my personal opinion, he is the taunt tank that benefits from Truth of Eternity the most. Because if I would personally, like, my personal opinion is Truth of Eternity is okay on every single taunt tank because it's the best crest there is, but it is actually good on Gamagori. Like, it is insane on Gamagori, like no other taunt tank, because Gamagori is the only taunt tank that makes himself low, that I'm aware of anyway. But like I said, now with here existing, every taunt tank can benefit from it, just like Gamagori can. And that is why I made this video, to show you that this is the way to go. You need tier. The mines is going to go away in like approximately 10 days from this video on, or like a little bit more. So make sure to get it. Make sure to get at least one, because every single account needs a taunt tank. And a taunt tank is best with Truth of Eternity and tier. Trust me. It's like, it's the best crest there is for a taunt tank currently. And that's just the way it is. I did actually also think of the new taunt tank, which is out in JP. It's the blue-haired girl, and she is an amazing taunt tank. She has this death passive that I was talking about, this zombie passive. She has it twice per quest instead of once. Even with that, I still believe Toma is the best taunt tank in the game. Like, she's awesome, but Toma's better. Toma's way better. She does buff your team a bit. She gives defense to all allies, which I have never seen before. I have not seen a unit. Well, I mean, there exists some, but I've never seen a unit that's a good unit that actually gives defense to the team. She gives it with the arts, and she also gives equip CT speed with the arts, which is great. With the true arts, she actually does the taunting. And with the super art, she does something with damage. I actually forgot. Oh, the lower she is, something. Like she needs to be low. She gets more arcades when she's lower, and something with the super art when she's low, but she doesn't make herself low. You get what I'm saying? So you need tier. No matter what taunt tank you have, you need the tier. And that's just the way it is. I think there is one taunt tank that when, I think it's Miranda, cancels cover and increase arch when HP is reduced by damage from enemy during cover is... Okay, no, never mind. I thought that when she gets low, she stops taunting. She stops taunting or whatever. I think her passive is a bit weird because she does still taunt. Anyway, tier works on her. That's all I need to say. Tier works on her. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. So, back to the crest. Farm for Truth of Eternity. If you get Truth of Eternity 4, just get it. On a taunt tank. On a taunt tank, you need it. If you get Truth of Eternity 4+, you're like one of the luckiest guy ever, because that is insane luck. And it's awesome, because then that taunt tank, where you got 4 Truth of Eternity 4+ on, is set for life. So, that's amazing. And this is totally up to you, but if you have a 4+, and then you have a 4, and you get another 4+, and it's not Truth of Eternity, I would just take it. As you can see, I don't have a Truth of Eternity on my Toma. I have defense and equip CT because I have 2 4+. I am not gonna throw away a 4+ for Truth of Eternity. Like, Some people might disagree, and that's absolutely fine. I can understand that, because you're still getting that 20% damage reduction that I am not getting currently. But I would just never ever throw a 4+ away for a 4 or anything else. So like, that's totally up to you. I will just continue farming for 4+ Truth of Eternity on Toma, but I'm not gonna throw one away for 4 and not 4+. So, but that's just my opinion. That totally depends on you. And currently, just an extra bonus, since we're still here. If you go to, let's quickly see where it is. This one. So if you go down and you check these, on the part 2 of the Prisma Ilia, well, the Fate crossover, on the part 2 stages, you can, if you look very carefully, it says right there, defense 200 up, it's called Godchild, and damage taken 7% down when near death. This is like a baby version of Truth of Eternity. If you do not have 2 4+s on your taunt tank from that from that crest, sorry, it's this one. So the one with Miyu. And just try to get that crest. But I'm trying to get the crest on my Gamagori, because I have a Truth of Eternity crest, and I have a Truth of Eternity crest, and then an all status up. I want that all status up to be Godchild, and then whenever, like, you know, it's a great extra crest that you can use on a taunt tank while, you know, while it's still here. So while Fate is still here, if you have the energy for it, farm for a crest, for the Fate crest on your taunt tanks. It's good. It's good. And there's also some insane other crest, but yeah. So, and then you can end up hopefully getting a 4+ Truth of Eternity, and then the crest itself would be great. And if you get another 4+, then just throw the Fate crest away, because a 4+ is more worth than a Fate crest. So yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the video. I talked way too much, but yeah, I hope that you all understood what my point was. And yeah, just the point of the video basically is Truth of Eternity is the best crest on any taunt tank, because there are no better crests currently in the game. But you're only really making use of it when you are low. So make sure to have the tier equip in this game. This is how it looks like. This is what it's called. You can get it in the mines. I already showed you. This is the boss that you need to defeat. Just lure the boss and keep fighting it until you get at least 1 or 2. It is a great equip. It is also a good equip for someone like Darkheart, Ascended Darkheart, or for someone like Rin Luvia, Summer Rin Luvia, who's coming out in like 2 days. And is there another unit that needs to be low for? Anyway, taunt tanks. They're really good for taunt tanks. So yeah, make sure to get the equip. Make sure to farm Truth of Eternity on your units, on your taunt tanks. If you get a 4+, I wouldn't throw it. I would just equip it, even if you're throwing away Truth of Eternity. Don't keep a 4+, but that's, like I said, my opinion. You can do with that whatever you want. And make sure to also make fusion equips that have Truth of Eternity on them, that look like exactly like this, that have the domination material thing. Target magic damage or physical damage, doesn't matter. Have both. Have one of each, and that's all you need. Never throw them away. Never specialize them either. Just have 2 of each and don't do anything with them. Just don't do anything with them. Just keep them for all your taunt. I think all taunt tanks do have a defense slot, but yeah, anyway. So so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed. I hope it helped. I hope you understood. And if you need any other help or have any questions or didn't get what I said, join the Discord. I will explain as much as I can and in the best way possible. And yeah. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.